Okay, we're going to do parts of Chapter 9 now. Questions 1 through 16 were assigned. We'll see how far we go here on this first go around. Question 1, which of the following is not a reason for the popularity of partnership as a legal form? And the true answer there is that this is an older style question, but you still have to watch this for CPA exam problems because they'll still throw this in there. The concept of general partnership is that it is not as easy to raise cash or capital because all the assets of the individuals are at risk as general partners. This question, therefore, for number 1 of Chapter 9 is answer B. But today's LLCs pretty much negate that because there is legal liability under ownership there. So question 1 you probably wouldn't see too often anymore, but it might show up in order to show that you know that general partnerships have no legal liability protection, whereas the LLCs have the protection. Okay, question 2, how does partnership accounting differ from corporate? And that one is the fundamental part, which we did cover pretty well in class, which is that the C, individual capital accounts, replace your retained earnings pretty much. So just take a look at C and see if you don't agree with the fact that we covered that in class. Number 3, which of the following best describes the articles of partnership? And there the articles are not required to be in writing, so B is not true. And while the purpose of an A is partners' rights and responsibility, that's not required elements. You do not have to have those in there. So D, by default, because for C anyway, the articles are an agreement that limits partners' liability. That's not true. Liability is limited by the form of the partnership, if it's a limited partnership or if it's an LLC. So D becomes the right answer there, which is saying that it can be in writing or orally and forms the governance, however you form it. So that's the answer there, and that's a typical CPA type question. Okay, so we can move forward to number 4. We start getting into actual numbers now, so this gets a little bit more complex, and we'll try to make this easier to follow. 4 is a sort of a tough question because when you try to answer these questions in the form of prose, it's never so simple. But let's see what we get here. We've got 3 partners, Pat, Jean Lou, and Diane. They have their specific capital accounts. They're sharing equally, and then for an investment of 50, Marianne comes in and she's going to have a 25% interest based on this information. Which of the following best justifies the amounts of Mary Ann's investment? And the key here is, well, what's the problem? So let's see what it is. We've got capital accounts of 50. These are for the 3 that are already there, 30 and 20. So the 3 that are already there, the capital accounts add up to 100. Yet Mary Ann's going to come in, she's going to have to put in 50, and that 50 buys her 25%. Well, 25% of what will be a total of 200. I'm sorry, a total of 150. 25% of a total of 150 is not $50,000. It's less than 50. It's actually 37.5. If I'm not mistaken, let's get the calculator out and double check that. Just to make sure I'm not that's exactly right. But she has to cough up 50 for what will really only amount to a 37.5 interest in the capital account after she comes in. So they want to know what's the reason for that. Why is that? What could be one of the reasons why she's paying more for what will only be a 37.5 interest? And the typical reason for this is that while the capital accounts reflect the equity at the date of the balance sheet here, that's true, but they may not reflect the real fair value. The fair value of this amount might be much higher, and so it costs Marianne more to get in for a 25% interest than just based on the book value. This is sort of the theme of the whole course, is that when these transactions occur, it indicates a different fair value than the book value reflected on the books. And now we know, because it's $50,000 to buy in for a 25% interest. So that makes answer C, the book value of partnership net assets were less than the fair value. That's the most likely explanation for what's going on here. Okay, moving along to number 5. Now we start to actually get into real crunching of numbers, and let's see what happens here. They tell you that we have partnership capital accounts of A, B, and C. So let's set that up. Usually I like to draw them out. And we got 120, we've got 95, we've got 100. And that total is, let's see, 220